These new Thor Love and Thunder details are mighty interesting. While it may be hammer time all the time for a certain MC out there, as for the MCU, you'll have to wait until February 11th, 2022 when Thor Love and Thunder deems us worthy to bask in its Asgardian awesomeness once more. First announced during Marvel's Hall H panel at San Diego Comic-Con 2019, Thor Love and Thunder is the fourth film in the soon-to-be decade-old Thor film franchise. And while the biggest surprise of that film was a Mjolnir-wielding Natalie Portman who's going to reprise her role of Jane Foster in Love and Thunder, writer-director Taika Waititi also mentioned that during the filming of Ragnarok, he had been reading Jason Aaron's The Mighty Thor run. This prompted many comic book fans to speculate wildly that Waititi would adapt the 2014 storyline in which a mysterious woman takes up Mjolnir and becomes the new God of Thunder. But before Secret Wars hit the reset button on the Marvel Universe, it was revealed that the person beneath the helmet was none other than Jane Foster, who was actually battling a life-threatening cancer at the time. And to make matters worse, every time Jane wielded Mjolnir to transform into Thor, she effectively rendered her cancer treatments inert. So being a superhero was quite literally killing her. That sounds pretty intense, right? Well, buckle up because Natalie Portman herself in an interview with Fatherly confirmed that is indeed what's going to be happening in Thor Love and Thunder. Portman said, "I can't tell you that much. I'm really excited. I'm starting to train, to get muscles. If there are going to be all these female superheroes, the more of them they are, the better it is. I'm trying to think. It's based on the graphic novel of the Mighty Thor. She's going through cancer treatment and is a superhero on the side." So while this is undeniably heavy subject matter, the Marvel Cinematic Universe hasn't shied away from addressing difficult topics in the past. But unlike seeing Peter Parker turn to dust safe in the knowledge that our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man has another film coming out soon, there's no assurance that Jane Foster will recover or come back at all from this harrowing experience. But considering the tightrope walk that Waititi pulled off with Jojo Rabbit, I'm confident he'll be able to deftly navigate this subject matter as well. Now, this is a major development for Jane Foster, who's largely been absent from the MCU since Thor the Dark World, save for a blink and you'll miss it cameo in Avengers Endgame. But the question remains of how exactly Jane Foster will come to wield Mjolnir, and whether or not Thor himself will be deemed unworthy in the process of wielding his favorite Uru metal weapon. According to a fan theory spotted by Inverse, the answer is that both Jane and Thor will be deemed worthy, and it's connected to other upcoming movies like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness as well. As a result of the many portals to other worlds that'll seemingly be opened in this reality-bending Doctor Strange sequel, another version of Mjolnir will find its way to Earth where a cancer-stricken Jane Foster will be deemed worthy enough to wield it. But why would we need two Thors? I know, the Thor the merrier, then they can run Fortnite duos to put Noobmaster 69 in his place, but the real answer is that there's a deadly villain out there that's going to need at least two Gods of Thunder to save the day. So, noted hockey pad detractor Christian Bale is reportedly playing the film's mysterious villain. We broke down the best options for this role on Nerdist News earlier this year, but given that Waititi is following Jason Aaron's run for this film, the likeliest answer is that Bale is playing Gorr the God Butcher. As his name would suggest, Gorr loves one thing and one thing only: straight up murdering gods. Now, legally, I think that also makes him a JRPG, but I'll have to double check on that. As the theory posits, Gorr's been on this vengeful anti-god murder mission ever since the Celestials, who we'll learn more about in the Eternals, wiped out most of his planet. This theory puts forth that Gorr is responsible for killing most of the Celestials, which, as Inverse noted, adds a bit of dark history to the floating mining colony of Nowhere, which is said to be built in the severed head of an ancient Celestial. Naturally, to defeat someone capable of murdering the most powerful beings in the galaxy, Thor is going to need a little help from his friends, namely a superpowered Jane Foster, Valkyrie, and, as the theory states, maybe a few unexpected faces like the Lady Sif and Beta Ray Bill. Now you might be laughing to yourself in comic book about that last one, but everyone's favorite horse-faced Corbinite has already been spotted in the MCU. His species was an Easter egg in Guardians of the Galaxy, and Beta Ray Bill's face was emblazoned on the side of the Grandmaster's Tower in Thor Ragnarok. After all, with Loki off causing mischief in the time stream in his own Disney Plus series, and Professor Hulk probably still chomping tacos or whatever, the Revengers are going to need some new members. Now you might be saying, Dan, what about the Guardians of the Galaxy? Something tells me they're going to dip out pretty early on in this movie. They won't be as big of a part of it as we might have thought they would be. But then again, stranger things have happened in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In the meantime, though, tell me, what do you think of this news? How do you think Jane Foster will become Thor? What else do you want to see happen in Thor Love and Thunder? Let me know in the comments below, and for the latest and greatest in the world of pop culture, make sure that you stay tuned to Nerdist.com.